Welcome back, guys. So in this video I want to talk about something that I've been seeing a lot, and I know that a lot of people are feeling the same way that I'm feeling. So I told you guys that I took a break, and I've learned a lot of things in that break, and on this channel I'll just come here and discuss things that are on my mind and see what you guys think about it. So it's about this whole financial maturity thing, where of course there are various financial advice that you can get online that are very helpful, but there's this one that I wanted to talk about in this video, and it's about your savings and investments. Now, there are different rules to how you save, how you invest, and how you spend money generally that people have come up with. There's the 60, 15, 25 rule, there is the 80, 10, 10 rule, there is the 70, 20, 10 rule, and so on. Now, I want to talk about a situation where your finances. So in these rules, let me give you guys like a breakdown. The 60, 25, 15 rule means that you have to keep your essential spending, your essential expenses, that is your rent, your transportation, your food, and all that below or at the maximum 60%. And then you can have 15% for yourself in terms of saving, and then the other 25% for something else, right? But what about situations where your salary, that is your earned income, doesn't cover all your expenses? So even if it covers, what if you're breaking even? What if at the end of the month, after you've spent everything, or after you've taken care of everything, paid your bills and bought food for yourself, that you have nothing else? What happens? What happens to all this rule? So I'm just going to give people in this situation, I've been there, and so I know how it feels. There's some months that you just earn money and everything goes. So when people are talking about saving this or investing this, you're asking yourself, what am I even going to do? Now, 2025, a lot of people have started the year off wanting to invest more, wanting to save more, wanting to earn more, which is great. So if you're in a situation where your income doesn't take care of your salary, there are people that it's just credit card that is helping them keep afloat, right? So if you're in a situation where what you earn doesn't cover all your expenses, it is not a good place to be. Now, I know that there's sometimes you can't help it. I mean, if you get, or if you're looking for a job and you don't get a job, and the one you get just pays or covers some bills and doesn't cover some, while you're still trying to do other things like get more money, you'll be doing this one, right? So it makes sense that sometimes you can actually be doing a job that doesn't cover all your bills. But that is not the ideal. That is not the place you should be. So if you're in this situation, you need to be thinking of how to get out of this situation. Don't be comfortable here for too long, because it's going to affect you in the long run. Now, something that some people need to consider, I know that as immigrants, when you come into a place, maybe you come into the UK or anywhere really, Canada, whatever, the thing about like housing is you try to, especially if you're doing this with your family, you don't want to stay in Airbnb for too long or in a hotel spending so much money. So the first house that we get is what we take, right? That's okay. But now that you've taken the house, now that you know that your financial situation is not the best, what are you doing to change it? So the first thing you need to be looking at is your rent, because this takes like a chunk of your salary. A lot of people, the rent is like the most thing you spend your money on. So look at your rent. Be sure that where you are is something that you want to be spending on. So there's some people that it might be just because of location that house is really expensive. If you don't care about that location, or if your work is not close to that location, or you have no business in that environment, you can actually look for a cheaper rent or a cheaper house that you can move into with your family. That's if you're doing this with your family. So look at your rent, be sure that you're spending what you need to be spending. If that's the first house you got in when you got into the country and you took it, now you've stayed for a bit in the country, you know these things, you're hearing these things, so you might want to look around to see if you can get a better accommodation, something that is more affordable for you, that will enable you spend less so that you can have some savings and have something to invest with, right? Another thing is, of course, where are you shopping? Your grocery shopping, you shouldn't be shopping in like high-end stores. You should look for the affordable stores where you get the necessary things and you're still spending less. Okay, so look at your spending, look at your rent. What are you using? What are you not using? What is in the house that is not being used? You know, just look around, take inventory of what is happening around your life. Look at your Now, look at your expenses and look at your income. This is something we say all the time. If you're listening to anybody who's talking about money, they'll tell you that you should know your income and you should know your expenses. Look at all these things that you're spending on mostly and find out which one you can cut down. So if it's like your food, let's say you're someone who eats out or who does maybe lunch out and then you work, maybe you should consider buying things and fixing up something that you can eat at work, and that will save you money. If you're someone who spends money because you go out every Friday, maybe you should check for cheaper options or reduce the number of times you go out on Fridays, stuff like that. Just look at your expenses. But the reason I brought this video, or I wanted to make this video, is because I know there's some people that don't have enough money to do this whole 60-20 20 rule, or 80-10-10 rule, or whatever that is flying all over the place. So if you're in a situation where you're not earning enough to take care of all your expenses, please, 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 you need to start looking for options where you can earn more. You're either doing side hustles, or you're looking for better jobs. If you want to do your 9 to 5, look for something that you can apply for that will pay you more. If there's a skill that you need to get to be able to earn more, consider doing that. If there's a course you need to take, if there's a certification that you need to do, you should totally consider doing that, so that you can up your game, so that you can start earning more, because now you have more skills, and of course you can present yourself as someone who is worthy of that pay. You get my point? Yes. So if you're in that situation where you feel like, oh, people are just saying this, me, I don't even have money to invest or save, it's fine, it happens. There are different phases in people's lives. So if this is the phase in your life now, what you should be considering is how to get out of this phase, because you actually need to save and invest for your future. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it's valuable to you. I hope that it makes sense to you. So if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, and yeah, I'll appreciate it because it really helps the channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.